Hello there, all people who are interested in my book. I noticed that there's quite a few of you, so thank you for reading. And because this is Dragonite week, I'm going to continue on and dedicate this to Dragonite again. Yes, he is, and well, as last place we left off is that Mike and Dragonite finally got together, and now, as it says here, they're on their way to the garden. So, let's continue on. Pardon me. The first place we were going to go was the garden. Both Dragonite and I walked casually down the pathways together. About a minute into our walk, Dragonite starts to talk to me. Mike, sorry about being so speechless earlier. I would have talked to you if I wasn't so shocked. Well, that's okay, Dragonite. So, I wanted to ask you a question about that huge wave that night. I really didn't want to talk about that again, but I felt as if answering any questions for Dragonite would be part of my thanks for saving my life. That message keeps popping up every time I do this, and it drives me crazy. Shut up. What about it? Did you think it was scary? Because I did. I'm right there with you on that one. I thought that was very scary, especially since I was heading right for it. Lappers told me about some legend that had to do with this island here, and that wave appeared because the treasure of here was broken. She did? Yeah, she also told me that you tried to stop bad things from happening from the legend and that you wanted to save the special Pokemon that lived here. Yeah, so you know of them? Latias and Latios? Those are the special Pokemon that live here, right? Yeah. Yeah, I know them, but I haven't actually seen them before. I hear that they watch and protect the city. That they do. You'll be able to meet them later on when we get to this place on Alto Mare. Oh, neat. That sounds like fun. So those two things that flew into the wave, that was them? Yep. And I was riding on Latios. That wasn't the smartest idea I've had. Yeah. I saw you fly so high into the air. I grew so scared seeing that. I bet. When you hit the water below, I dove under the water and swam after you. I then picked you up and brought you out of the water. And even though Baltimore was close to where I was, well, I panicked. I flew you to that island, which I thought was closer, and lay you down there. Oh, I was so scared. I really thought you weren't going to live. I could see the scared look on Dragonite's face. I grew upset from seeing him like this. Was Lapras and Whalmer there at the time? Yeah. They followed me to that island just as scared as I was. They watched me put my head on your chest to see if you were breathing. You were just barely. I did the first thing that came to my mind. I tried to give you some air. I thought it worked, but I also thought that your heart wasn't beating right. Oh, the whole thing was so scary. As soon as I told what Lapras and Whalmer could do for help, I flew away from the island. Dragonite looked really scared now. I walked over to him and put my right arm around his back. Hey, don't worry about it, Dragonite. Just look at me. I'm living right now and still very healthy, and it's because of you. Dragonite looks at me and his smile returned. You did good, my friend. You're my hero. Thanks. Let's not think about that anymore, okay? Alright, good idea. Let's get going. We then continue onward to the secret garden. About halfway there, Dragonite asked me another question. Hey Mike, where do you live? I'm from this place called Massachusetts. It's part of the United States. Oh, I think I've heard of that place before. I used to live near the oceans near there, I believe. Do you live with any Pokemon back home? I could once again feel a whole bunch of explaining that was going to be needed. The whole going back in time thing was approaching yet again. I didn't want to explain it for a third time, but I'll make an exception for the dragon that saved me. Well, back home I own this team. A Pokemon team called the LSRT. Ooh, what's that? It's a team that keeps Pokemon from being caught. Like a legendary Pokemon, for instance. Legendary Pokemon? Ooh, wow, like who? Well, on my team I have Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres, Ho-Oh, Lugia, and Latias and Latios. What, are the Latias and Latios who live here that are on your team? Yep, the very ones. No, are only legends allowed to join? Oh no, I have non-legendary Pokemon too, like Pidgeot, Lightning, Charizard, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, Flygon, Salamence, and even a Dragonite. A Dragonite? Like me? Yeah, like you. Oh, I guess you don't want two of us on your team. I was gonna ask you if I could join. Well, I would love to have you join. And I would love to have more than one Dragonite on my team. But there's a different reason why you can't join. What reason is that? Well, it's because the LSRT is a team in the future. And I'm also from that future. Whoa, are you saying that you time traveled and came from the future? Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah, I traveled to this point in time, or your present, to help prevent the harm that was done to Latias and Latios in this time period. Wow, no wonder why I can't join. I don't even know how to time travel. Yeah, sorry, Dragonite. That's a bummer. I kind of wanted to meet that other Dragonite. You would get along with him, I bet. Great with him, I bet. You two act similar, it appears. So what's it like in the future? Is it all more advanced and stuff? Well, not really. The future I came from was only about a year from this point in time, so nothing changed much. Oh, well, that's neat. So it's like now. Only, well, in the future. Sorta, yeah. I was surprised to see how well Dragonite took the whole time travel talk. He believed every word I said right away. The loyalty of him was like my Dragonite in a way. But then again, I thought that all Dragonite were loyal to their friends. Anyway, the talk went by smoothly, and there was no difficulty attached. Wait. Dragonite stops dead in his tracks. I stop walking forward too and look at him, seeing that he looks upset again. If you're really from the future, then that means that soon you will be returning to that future, doesn't it? I guess I thought too soon. I never thought about me returning to the future, even though that would happen later on. I felt bad for Dragonite, because soon I would have to leave him. I'm afraid so, my friend. Later on, when I'm done looking around Alto Mare, I will be returning to the future. I'm sorry. Oh, I really wish you didn't have to go. I was so happy that I found a good friend. One that I really like. My buddy. Did he just call me buddy? I'm sorry that I have to leave you, but I don't plan on going back to the future for a while, so we can still spend our time together until then, okay? Dragonite smiles slightly. Oh, okay, that's good. At least we can still be friends until then. We'll still be friends for as long as time stands. Just because I time travel 1 year ahead doesn't mean that I will forget about you. I can't possibly forget about the Dragonite that saved my life. Who knows? Maybe we'll see each other again in the future. Yeah, maybe we will. Dragonite grew a look of hope, and I smile at him. Okay, I'm ready to go. Good. We're getting closer to where we need to go. Where's that? You'll see when we get there. It's such a nice place. I bet you'll like it. For a second after I said that, I thought that Dragonite would not be allowed to go into the secret garden. But then I realized that the Latias let my other Pokemon friends in there, so then I assumed Dragonite could go in too. During the walk, I decided to interrupt it with a question to Dragonite. Okay, now it's my turn to ask you something. Alright, go right ahead. Why did you tell Lapras not to tell me about you rescuing me? Well, it's because that I was going to be moving again soon. Moving again? Yeah, to moving to other waters. Since I was going somewhere else, I didn't want you to waste your time trying to find me. That's why I told Lapras and Wilmer to keep me a secret. But I guess things changed when you found me on your way to Alto Mare. It was a lucky find, I guess, because I was going to head off tomorrow morning. Why do you move around so much? Well, to tell you the truth, I'm a lonely dragon, and I'm on the search for a great home where I can make some good friends. Unfortunately, I just can't find that perfect home. What about Lapras and Wilmer? Aren't you friends with them? Not really. I met Lapras one time before the rescue, but I don't think we're really friends. As for Wilmer, during the rescue was the first time we met. Oh, how often have you moved? Oh, countless times. I even tried living in the mountains once. I liked it. but I didn't feel comfortable living there. I felt like as if I didn't belong. I started to have this weird feeling inside me. I thought it might have been a feeling of sorrow. Yeah, I thought Dragonite was supposed to live in the ocean. To be honest, I like living on land better than out in the ocean. I love to swim in the water, but I like to live on land. Well, then you should. You shouldn't feel like you don't belong if you want to live there. Yeah, I know, but it's just not normal. I'm probably the only Dragonite who likes living in the mountains. After he said that, the feeling inside me grew sharp. What was my body trying to tell me? It doesn't matter if it's what a Dragonite is supposed to do. If you want to live somewhere, then you should just go ahead and live there. I bet if you do that, then you'll find your perfect spot. Yeah, you're right. I was thinking of going back to live in the mountains again, but I couldn't fully decide. Now I'm fully sure. Thanks, buddy. You're welcome, Dragonite. Maybe finally I can find that home I've dreamed of. One with charming friends, and I'll finally no longer be alone. Oh, well, excluding right now, of course. I appreciate your company. So have you seriously been living alone all your life? Yeah, ever since I was born. Back when I was a Dratini, I was living in the ocean. I was scared. I wanted to grow and become a Dragonite the minute I saw one for the first time. I thought that evolving would raise my confidence. My feeling grew even sharper now. I was about to respond to a story, but then I had a flashback. It was back to when I was getting to know my Dragonite on the LSRT. While in the flashback, I discovered what these feelings truly meant. Dragonite notices me staring straight forward with a blank expression on my face. He grows slightly concerned. Mike, are you okay? I snap out of my daydream and respond. Wait, is it true that it took you about 5 years to evolve into a Dragonair? Well, yeah. And another 8 years to evolve into a Dragonite? And that as soon as you evolved, you flew around the oceans within the regions of the Atlantic looking for a best friend? And that you've spent the 10 years since your evolution looking for the right home, but you have having bad encounters for so long that now you don't know where you truly belong? But Dragonite's eyes widened and he grew completely shocked. Yes. All of that is true, but how do you know all of that? Oh my god, I know who you are. Huh? What? You're my Dragonite! You're my best buddy! What? I am? Yes! You're the Dragonite that's on my team! Oh my, I can't believe it's really you! I walked over to him and gave him a great big hug again. I just had to. It was one of those moments. Dragonite was unsure about this whole situation. Felt like he really wasn't the one on my team, even though he really wanted to be. Are you sure that I'm that particular Dragonite? How do you know it's really me? This certain feeling inside me told me that you were the one. Also, that's how I knew all those things that happened to you from before with the evolving and whatnot. When I was getting to know my Dragonite on my team, he told me a story. He told me what happened to him during his life, and his story and yours match up perfectly. Wow. Unbelievable. So I guess we've been friends for a long time then. Yeah. Wow, now that I know it's you, I really have to thank you for saving me. I hugged Dragonite with all my might. I felt so happy that I found another member on my team. I love you, buddy. Dragonite was still a little unsure, but he gave in once he heard me say that to him. He then hugged me back with happiness. I love you too, Mike. You're a good friend. We hugged for a while before we stopped. We then looked at each other with a great big smile. Seeing one of my best friends right next to me made me feel greatness and confidence. I felt like now I really wanted to go to the garden. Okay, my buddy. Are you ready to go to the garden now? A garden? Ooh, is that where we're going to? Whoops. Yeah, I kind of blew the surprise, didn't I? That's alright. A garden sounds like an interesting place to go to. Okay, well, we're actually quite close to the entrance from here, so let's head on. Dragonite nodded and started to follow behind me. We both quickened our pace a bit, with no more distractions along the way. We were at the fake wall in only 2 minutes. Okay, this is where we need to get to the garden. Where do we enter? Is it down this road? He points his paw towards the road that leads to Lorenzo's house. Nope, not that way. We go straight here. Mike? There's a wall right there. I know. Just go forward. Do you need me to hold your paw for you, buddy? No thanks. I'll just take your word for it. I really feel like I can trust you. Okay. Well, then just walk straight ahead with me. Here, I'll go first. I walk a few steps until I go through the fake wall. Dragonite grows a little shocked. Oh? Then he then walks up to the wall and tries to put his paw on it, but then it goes right through it. He then takes some more steps until he's completely through the other side of the wall. He grows surprised. He then steps right beside me and looks at me. That wall was fake! You can go right through it! I know. Going through that wall is the way to get to the garden. I wouldn't just let you walk into a solid wall. What kind of friend does that? Dragonite put his arms in a shrug type of way. Come along. The two of us continued towards the garden. Soon we made it out to that tunnel and into the front part of the garden. The second that Dragonite got a look at the scenery, he grew a look of awe. He acted just like he did when he saw me on Lapras, except his jaw drop looked more like a smile this time. Wow! This place is beautiful! Oh yeah, he wasn't speechless either, I guess. Isn't it? This is Latias and Latios' secret garden home. This is a garden? This place is enormous! Yes, it is. I wonder where the Latis are right now. Want to help me find them? Sure, I'll be glad to. We both walk down the front stairs and deeper into the garden. We both look around the area as we walk. Oh, I just can't stop looking at all the wonderful scenery. Everything looks so well taken care of and full of life. That I can agree with, Dragonite. Oh, I wonder where the Latis are. I was growing a little concerned. I thought by now I would have found them. But then I realized that both of them could be patrolling the city right about this time. So if that was the case, then we would have to wait until they returned. We both kept walking beside one of the ponds. While walking, we saw some Pokémon that lived here. Some Yanwa, some Poliwag to be exact. I noticed that some of them looked kind of fidgety. Hey, look! A swing! Yeah, that's Latias' swing. I think I might sit on it for a bit. Oh, okay. Want me to push you? No thanks. That's alright. Alright, I'll be walking around and then to take a good look at the garden again. Promise I won't go far. Okay, buddy. Dragonite looked around the pond and I sat on the swing. I was thinking of how Latias liked to rock back and forth on it, and I started to rock back and forth on the swing myself. It was very relaxing and enjoyable. Hey, what's this? After I heard him, I got off the swing and walked towards Dragonite, who was near the other side of the swing tree. What is that? What is it? Look at this. It looks like some sort of plaque. I look to where Dragonite points and see these two wooden signs that are stuck in the ground right next to the tree. There were also flowers placed up against the front of these signs. I began to read the one on the left, and it read, "In loving memory of the great guardians of Alto Mare, who gave their lives to keep this island at peace." I felt as if my heart skipped a beat and my stomach dropped. No, it can't be. You read what it said too. Do you really think that, according to this, Latias and Latios are gone? I fall to my knees and lean forward to the ground. I then start to cry. Dragonite walks to me and sits beside me. He puts his paw on my back. He starts to cry slightly too. Oh, Mike, I'm so sorry. I really couldn't believe it. The Latis were no longer living. Not only did Latios vanish, but something happened to Latias as well. As I cried, I thought about it and what Lapras said. I guess you really didn't see the Latis returning home after all. And even though I knew Dragonite was beside me, I felt alone and lonely. It was as if I was back on that tiny island in the middle of the sea. Mike, look at that sign on the right. Something about you. I lift my head and look at the sign on the right. I clear my tears from my eyes and read it. It says, "In loving memory of Mike, best friends to the guardians of Alto Mare, who would do anything to keep his best friends happy, including sacrificing his life." After reading that sign, I felt a little chilled. I actually felt my body all over to make sure I was still alive. But what does that mean? Do the people in Pokemon here think that you're no longer living? I guess so. I'm also guessing that Lorenzo made these memorials. Who? Lorenzo. He's a human that takes care of this garden along with his granddaughter Bianca. They also used to take care of Latias and Latios. I could feel myself start to cry again. I sit down and put my hands over my face. Dragonite once again puts his paw on my back to comfort me. We both close our eyes and try to relax. Hey, what are you doing here? I open my eyes and lift my head towards the sound of the voice. Dragonite does the same. I see a blue and white Eon Pokémon over the pond. Latios! Dragonite stands up and looks at him. That's Latios? I get up and run to him. I would have hugged him, but he was levitating over the pond. Latios, you're alive! Yes. Now, may I ask you what you're doing here? This is a secret and private garden. Huh? Latios, it's me, Mike! What? Latios flies over in front of the memorials near Dragonite. You're that human who sacrificed himself to support the previous guardians of this island? I cannot believe that you would survive such a horrible crash. What? Previous guardians of Alto Mare? Oh, I get it now. You think that I am that Latios to stop the wave, don't you? Yes. Well, aren't you? I'm afraid not. I'm Leon, one of the new guardians of Alto Mare. My family and I were taking care of the place of the fallen guardians. The ones you know of are not parts of our world anymore. Oh, I really thought a miracle just happened. I thought you were my best friend. Leon goes over to me. I'm terribly sorry, Mike. I know how painful it feels to lose a loved one. Yeah. I just really wished he survived that. I think the best thing to do is to appreciate the miracle of you still living and carry on your life the best you can. I think that the previous guardians would have want that from you. I look at Leon. I notice that he looks slightly different from my Latios looked. He looks slightly smaller, and he has some feathers sticking atop of his head. I know now for a fact from all this that E is not my Latios. Yeah, you're right. I should enjoy my life, but it's kind of hard to. Please, just try your best. I look at Leon for a moment, and then look away and sigh. So, Leon, you said that your family and you live here now? Yes, that's right. My sister and my father both live here to help protect the city. May I ask who you are? I'm Dragonite. I'm friends with Mike. We met when I saved him from drowning. You saved Mike from losing his life? Yep, he sure did. He's the miracle that saved me, and I greatly appreciate it. My goodness, may you live a happy life from your heroics. In that case, feel free to stay at this garden anytime. Whoa, you mean I could live here if I wanted to? I'm pretty sure my father would approve of that if I told him what you have done. Dragonite looks at me and taps me on the arm. Look at that, Mike. I think I found my home. Isn't he forgetting that he lives with me in the future? See, I told you that you would. Dragonite smiles at me. So, Leon, can we meet your family? Oh, yes, of course you can. I bet they'll still want to meet you too. I'll go get them. Leon then flies off to in the distance of the garden. He calls out to the other two Eon Pokemon while Dragonite and I wait patiently for them. Mike, are you feeling any better? Somewhat. I'm still very upset that Latias and Latios are gone, but at least I have you to comfort me. Yeah, I'll always be here for you, Mike. I could hear Lati language in the distance. Soon Leon came back with a Latias and another Latios. The Latias looked smaller than how I thought a Latias looked, and she too had a couple of feathers sticking up on top of her head. The other Latios, on the other hand, was large. He looked bigger than Leon by far, and to me, he looked bigger than mine. Here we are, Father. This is Mike and his friend Dragonite. Mike, this is my family. Hello, nice to meet you all. Hello, my name is Leanne. Say, you look kind of cute. It's funny. Usually I would say that to my Latias, but now it's the other way around. Yeah, thanks. You look adorable yourself. Leanne smiles at my compliment. And I am Ratiosu. I am their father. Latios? Huh? Huh, that's an interesting name. So the so the three of so you three watch over the island now? Yes, that is correct. All three of us will be doing the same duties as the previous Latias and Latios have done, with less play and more work, might I add. More work? I don't think that anyone would do more harm to Alto Mare anymore, do you think so? Well, you just can't tell what people will do nowadays. Just look at what caused the last Guardians to fall. Well, I guess you're right on that one. So, Leon, do you two like guarding the city? I like it. It's new and exciting. Plus, you get to see what all the people of the town do. Yeah, it's alright. But to be honest, I'm just slightly afraid about the bad things that could happen. Oh, yeah, me too. Well, I think that you should just try your best and not think of things like that. It would make the duty a little more enjoyable. See, children, didn't I tell you the same thing? Yeah. I, I bet you will make great guardians of Alto Mare. I can see it in you three. Oh, that reminds me. What made you three become the replacement guardians? Well, I knew their father. He told me using telepathy at what happened to him saving this island, and that his children will be guarding the city after his passing. It's sad. He told me these things as he was vanishing. Anyway, he also told me that if anything were to happen to either of his children, that I would come and assist in guarding the city. I just can't believe that both of his children are gone. Yeah, me too. I can feel myself start to cry again, but I hold it back. I go upset every time I look at those memorials. Lorenzo made those, right? You mean that man that took care of Latias and Latios? Yeah. Yes, he made those. He put those there right by that tree this morning. He looked really sad, too. So did the girl that was with him. Oh. Maybe I should go visit them at their home to support them. What do you think, Dragonite? That's probably a good idea. Want me to go? Sure, of course you can. Very well. If you're heading out, then I wish you a good day. It was a pleasure to meet you two. Thanks. Come along now, Dragonite. The two of us start to walk past the three Eon Pokemon and towards the entrance. Dragonite stops suddenly and turns to them again. Wait, I meant to ask you this before. Would it be okay if I live here? Of course you can. Any Pokemon are allowed to live here as long as they treat the garden with respect. Also, I heard from my son that you saved Mike's life. That's another reason why you could stay here. Dragonite smiles at them. Wow, thanks so much. That means a lot to me. I continue to walk, but I look back at the scene. Seeing Dragonite happy made me smile. Dragonite sees me getting far ahead and flies over to me to catch up. Then the two of us walks at a steady pace through the rest of the garden. We go back to the entrance and through the fake wall. Okay, which way do we go, buddy? Down this road here. Shouldn't take long. Lorenzo's house is close to here. There were absolutely no distractions during this trip. I really wanted to see Lorenzo and Bianca. And I bet that they wanted to see me that one more time. We got to the house in only several minutes. We both approached the side door and stopped. What a nice looking place. I like how it's right by the canal. Yeah, I like it too. Okay. Could you do me a favor and just wait outside here while I talk with them? If I need you, I'll call you. Sure thing, Mike. Oh, man. Alright. While Dragonite and I were talking, Lorenzo walks into the kitchen. He looks at the counter and notices that the coffee pot he brewed is ready. He pours himself a cup of coffee and hears a knock on the door. I haven't done the Lorenzo voice in a few months, so this should be interesting. Come in, it's open. Pardon me if my voice sounds terrible. I haven't done it in a while. Come in, it's open. I open the door and walk into the kitchen. Lorenzo turns around and sees me, and he grows completely startled. Ah! He drops the coffee cup he was holding. The cup hits the floor and shatters, and the coffee spills all over the floor. The smashing sound makes me jump a bit. Oh my dear boy, I thought you were gone for good. Nope, I'm alive. Oh my goodness, this is just unbelievable. You're alive, after all that. Honestly, I'm still just as shocked as you are. I look at the shattered cup of coffee on the floor. You want me to help clean that up? No, son, I'll get that. I could hear footsteps come down the stairs. I assumed it was Bianca. Hey, Granddad, is everything alright? She walks in the kitchen and sees me. She then grows happy and excited. Mike? Is that really you? Yup, I'm still alive, my friend. She gives me a happy laugh and runs over to me. She then gives me a big hug. Lorenzo looks up from cleaning the spill, and he smiles at the happy scene. Oh, it's so great to have you back, Mike. Here, why don't you have a seat? Sure, I will. I sit down at the dining table. Bianca sits at the side of the table that's to the right of me. Would you like some coffee, Mike? Oh, yes, please. Alright, I'll have some with you. What about food? Are you hungry? No, I'm good, thanks. Lorenzo brings the coffees to the table and sits across from me. I took a sip of the coffee, and it lightened me up. I still cannot believe you survived that massive fall. I can picture the whole thing. Well, there's one special Pokemon to thank for my survival. Oh, really? Who's that? How about I let that Pokemon come on in so we can show you? Oh, he's waiting outside? Well, I suppose we can let him in. There's no reason why we shouldn't. I bet he's lonely sitting out there all alone. Like, I get up and walk to the door. Now that I think about it, I think he might have a little trouble fitting in here. Well, who is it? I open the door and look at Dragonite, who's sitting down and waiting patiently. Hey, Dragonite, come on in, buddy. We want to see you. Oh, Dragonite? Dragonite? I feel like I've heard of him, but who is Dragonite? He's a large orange dragon that lives deep in the sea. Do you think I can fit in there? I think you could dunk under the door frame, you will. Come on, buddy. Dragonite stands up and walks in the front door. He then folds his wings of ducks. He just managed to squeeze his body through the doorway. I look at him and see that he's just barely short enough to avoid hitting his head on the ceiling. There you go, buddy. My tail. I look around him and notice that his tail is completely sticking out of the doorway. I forgot how big his tail was for a moment. Oh yeah. Well, just walk in slowly until we shut the door behind you. Okay, I'll bend my tail around to make more room. Dragonite curls his tail to the left side of him and walks a couple of steps. I managed to get into the door closed after that. I then take the unused chair that was out at the side and... Wait, I lost myself there. I then take the unused chair that was at the side to my left of where I was sitting and put it to the side. Yeah. Here, Dragonite, have a seat at the table here. Thanks, I will. Oh yeah, one more thing. Could you just lower your head for me? Sure. I take off my... that should be I don't know why it says me. I swear I corrected that, but whatever. I take off me Pokespeak amulet and attach it around Dragonite's neck. The amulet just fits him without choking him. Why'd you put this thingy on me? That's my Pokespeak amulet. When I wear it, I can understand what Pokemon say. Oh, so that's how you can understand me. But if you wear it, then all humans can understand what you say. Oh. It's interesting how that works. At least now we can talk to Dragonite. Yeah, I like that. So, Dragonite, you're pretty big. Yeah, I am, aren't I? I think it may be this room that's making him look bigger. Yeah, he does look slightly smaller outside. So, you are the two humans that take care of Latias and Latios? Why, yes we are. You know of them? Yeah, Mike told me about him. Yeah, I did. I also showed him the secret garden. It was the least I could do for him after saving my life. I've heard that Dragonite in the sea rescued drowning people. I guess that rumor is true. Yeah, it is. I couldn't let Mike go like that, especially after seeing him go through all of that. You saw the whole thing with the wave? Yes, I did, and it was scary. I can still picture Mike getting shot up in the air. Ooh, was that a horrible sight. But at least Mike was saved by this nice Dragonite here. I'm so thankful for that. So am I. Dragonite gives an eyes closed smile. Oh, Granddad, we should do something nice for Dragonite. Dragonite, you hungry at all? Oh, well, that's okay. You don't have to give me anything. Seeing Mike alive and well is all the thanks I need. Oh, but I'm sure we have some royal gummies in the kitchen somewhere. Are you sure you don't want any? Royal gummies? The yummy treat for dragons? Yes. I haven't had one of those in ages. Okay, I'll have one. You deserve it, buddy. Lorenzo gets up and goes over to one of the bottom cabinets. He takes several royal gummies from it and puts them in front of Dragonite on the table. Dragonite looks at the three royal gummies and grows unsure. Oh, I only asked for one. I'm sure it won't do any harm for you to eat more than one. Yeah, but I didn't want to take too many from you. That's nice of you, but we'd like you to eat them. Alright, I will. Dragonite takes one of the gummies and puts it in his mouth. As soon as he tastes the gummy, he grows happy and his antennae twitch. Yummy. This tastes so good. Thanks. You're welcome, Dragonite. I didn't know you two collected gummies. I assume you collect gold ones too? Yes, we do. We buy them at the market down the street for Latias and Latios. Oh, Latias and Latios. It is a shame that you are no longer with us. Everyone's happy moods go away as soon as the Latias' names are mentioned again. Dragonite's smile is gone, but he still continues to nibble on the second royal gummy. I just still can't believe they're gone. I mean, I know how Latios died, but how did Latias? I honestly don't know, Mike. Bianca and I both looked for Latias and Latios on the ocean in our boat. But soon we figured out what happened to Latios after countless minutes of searching. Maybe Latias vanished too. Then I thought about the wave-stopping moment. I could picture Latios in that vanishing state, with that all-light blue spiritual kind of look. I could also picture Latias the same way, with a very frightened look on her face. Oh, brother, I'm scared. I know, sis. I am too. But I'm afraid to vanish. Everything's going to be alright. I'm right here with you. I almost cried at that daydream. A chill went up my spine, too. Were you thinking of them, too? Yeah. To be honest, though, I'm still very hurt from all of this. I'd rather not talk about them for a moment. Very well. That's alright. We understand. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. What are you sorry for? You didn't do anything. Yeah, I know. But I still feel bad that you're upset. Here. Dragonite puts his last royal gummy in front of me on the table. I look at it and chuckle. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate your kindness, but this is your gummy. Besides, this is the yummy treat for dragons, not humans. You eat it. Dragonite smiles and takes back the gummy. He then nibbles on it. So, how's your job at the museum going? Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that. Yesterday I found this artifact on the floor by the DMA. I don't remember us getting it, though. I don't remember us getting anything like it, though. But how do you know it's part of the museum? I asked one of the other workers, and he told me where it goes. Although, he looked a little unsure about it. What is the artifact? It was this strange hourglass thing. You mean a gold-looking hourglass with strange engravings on both sides? Why, yes. You know of it? But that's my hourglass. I need that to get back to the future. So I take it you were just bluffing on not knowing how to get to the future. Whoops. I sort of forgot about that. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't want something to happen that involves someone accidentally going to the future with me, or well, if you think of the past and then flip the hourglass over, well, then you're going back in time. My word! So that's how that works? Well, if that's the case, then I almost time traveled. You flipped the hourglass over? Yes, I did multiple times to look at it. It's a good thing I didn't think of anything while doing that. Oh, yes. Ooh, I'm scared for you. Well, at least it didn't happen. I'm very happy for that. Yeah, so Lorenzo, could you take me with, could you come with me to the museum? I need to get that hourglass back. Oh, yes, I'll be glad to help you get it. Can I come too? Yes, you can. Everyone except Dragonite get up. Wait, what about me? Of course you can come with us. We wouldn't leave behind a friend. Dragonite stands up. Oh, thanks, buddy. Oh, here, you can have your amulet thingy back. Dragonite bends his head down in front of me. I take the amulet off his neck and put it on mine. Thanks, buddy. Okay, let's head on over to that museum. I got me an hourglass to get. And Dragonite stepped to the side to allow me to get to the door. I slide the door past him and then he squeezes through the door frame until he's fully outside. The rest of us follow him out there. So, which way is the fastest to the museum? Well, I think taking some paths around the center would be fastest. The center itself gets pretty crowded this time of day. Yeah, I don't want to accidentally bump into anyone and hurt them. I think that, I think that people would go over to you to get a good look at you. Just remember all those stares of awe you got back at the beach. Yeah. Okay, you two, you lead the way. Alright, yeah. Dragonite and I both follow them. We took the paths that lead to the garden's entrance. Instead of going through the fake wall, we take a right and head down that road. I noticed that we were basically taking the same paths that Dragonite and I took, only backwards. Our pace was fairly quick for a walk. I looked around the area as we walked. There weren't really any people around, to my surprise. We were about to approach the beach, but then Lorenzo and Bianca took a right down the alleyway. I stop and look at the beach before I follow them. I see a bunch of people standing around in a crowd. Seeing the crowd made me curious. Whoa, hold up a second. Look at that commotion down there at the beach. Dragonite, Lorenzo, and Bianca all turn around and go over to me. They all look towards the beach and see a large crowd. What's going on down there? I'm not sure. Looking at that is making me curious. I'm going over there to take a look. I don't know about you guys. I start to walk towards the beach. I'll go with you. Me too. They both start to follow me. Dragonite stares at us for a moment before playing catch-up. Hey, wait for me! The four of us walk to the crowd of people. I noticed that the voices of the people sounded gloomy and deep. This is such a terrible sight. I'll agree. This is just depressing for all of us. Excuse me, what is depressing? The couple turns around and look at us. Oh, over there on the shoreline. I just can't say it. Me neither, I'm afraid. Well, if you take a look for yourself, you'll understand why. What could be there? I'm not sure, but let's see if we can push by this crowd. I nod at him. I then walk around and out the outside of the crowd to try to find a spot to squeeze through. Dragonite flaps his wings and starts to hover above the crowd. As soon as he gets a look at the sight, his eyes grow wide and he gets a large frown to go with it. Oh, my. I squeeze myself past the people and make it to the front. The second I saw the sight myself, I knew exactly why everyone around was so depressed. Latias! Yep, it was Latias lying down at the beach, with her eyes closed and motionless. Unlike everyone else, I run over to her and kneel down right beside her. I look at her face. It looked cold with the way her eyes were closed. Latias, are you... Oh... Lorenzo and Bianca both manage to get to the center of the crowd. They too walk over to Latias. Dragonite flies to the center as well and lands next to us. I put my ear on her neck to see if she was breathing, but I didn't hear anything. I lift her head up and a little bit to give her some air for me. I lean my head towards hers. I'm sorry, Mike, but that will not do any good. I lift my head back up from Latias and turn to the sound of the voice. I then see Lapras on the shoreline on the water's edge. I didn't notice her until now. Lapras! She is no longer living, Mike. I'm terribly sorry. But how? I do not know for certain, I'm afraid. I honestly came across her body floating on the water on my way home. But if I had to guess, she probably fainted from stopping that wave. and then fell into the water. I'm assuming she ran out of air after staying under for too long. Are you saying that she drowned? It appears that way to me. Both Dragonite and I look at each other. Dragonite looks at me with a guilty expression. I'm so sorry. If I saw Latias fall in the water, I would have rescued her too. Oh. What? Dragonite, you gotta stop blaming yourself. This was not your fault by any means. You can't do it all, buddy. You know? Just be happy that you rescued me, okay? Yeah, okay, you're right. It wasn't my fault. I just wish that I could have saved her. I walk over to Dragonite and pat him on the back. I wish that she survived that too. I walk back over to Latias and stroke her on the head. Oh, Latias. I continue to look at Latias' face. Soon I take a look at Lorenzo and Bianca to see them both holding each other while looking at Latias. I see the sadness on their faces and the tears being shed from Bianca. I then look back at Latias. I wanted there to be a way to make things right again. A way to make things happy between both the Eons and the caretakers. A way to make Latios and Latias alive again. And it looked to me the answer was waiting for me at the museum. Lorenzo, Bianca, come over here, please. The two of them look at each other, then they follow me over to Dragonite. Dragonite looks at us with a concerned expression. Dragonite, could you bend forward for me, please? Oh, sure. He doesn't quite know why I asked him that, but he bends his body forward slightly. What's going on? Have you two ever ridden on a Dragonite before? Huh? No. Well, now's going to be your first time. I tap Dragonite on his arm. Dragonite figures out what I need and bends down all the way. I climb on his back and sit down. I hold my hand towards Lorenzo and Bianca to help them climb on with me, but they both just look at me and Dragonite with worried expressions. Oh, I'm not so sure about this. Me too. Are you sure that the three of us can fit on Dragonite? I'm sure you can fit, but I'm not too sure about the weight. You can handle the three of us, can't you, Dragonite? Yeah, I think I can for a little bit, as long as we don't fly far. No worries about that. The museum's close by. Okay, Dragonite can handle it. Don't be afraid. Just have a seat and hang on tight. Alright, Mike. I'll trust you. Me too. Okay, Bianca, you get on first behind Mike, and I'll take the back. Okay. I help Bianca get on, and she sits right behind me. Then Lorenzo climbs on Dragonite's back and takes a seat. Okay, hang on, and tell me when you're ready. Right. Bianca holds on me and Lorenzo grabs a hold of her. Alright, ready. Okay, Dragonite, time to fly. Nice and steady now. Okay, here we go. Dragonite then spreads his wings out and begins to flap them. He gets higher and higher away from the ground, and soon we were up above the buildings. Wow, the town sure does look neat from up here. I was about to say the same thing. Everything does look different when you're riding on a flying Pokemon. I experience this all the time back home. I love being able to fly. Hey, I can see the museum from here. Yeah, me too. Hey, Dragonite. I give him a gentle tap on the neck. He turns his head just enough to look at me. Yeah, Mike? I point off in the distance. See that large building over there, buddy? Yeah, I do. Fly us over there, please, near the main entrance. Okay, here we go. Dragonite flies towards the museum at a smooth pace. It takes us a little more than a minute to get there. Dragonite then gently lowers us to the ground in front of the stairs outside the entrance. Oh, here we are. Oh, wait a sec. Because I was so close to him, the amulet translated the language for everyone. I see Dragonite. I see Dragonite curve his tail to the side of him and place it on the ground. Here, use my tail as a step to help you down. Yeah. Bianca tries to get down off the Dragonite first. She swings her legs to the side and tries to step on Dragonite's tail. She puts her right foot on softly on the tail, but won't go any further. Go on! You're not going to hurt it. Just step down. Bianca fully steps on the tail now, and she successfully gets off. Lorenzo does the same thing without any problem, and I jump to the ground without the aid of the tail. After we all get off, Dragonite stands up and stretches his arms and back. Did all that weight tire you out, buddy? Nope, I'm fine, thanks. Okay, Lorenzo, I'll let you lead the way again. Alright. The four of us walk up the large set of stairs. We then get to the top, and when we get to the top, Lorenzo stops. Oh my, I forgot that the museum is closed for some renovations on the DMA. And I'm supposed to be helping them at 6 o'clock. Oh. It shouldn't be a problem, though. I can allow all of us in there for a little while. Oh, well, that's good. It appeared that the front doors were unlocked, even though the sign up front said closed for repairs. The four of us walked in the front door anyway. As we walked, the woman at the information center stopped us. Good evening, Lorenzo. What are you doing here so soon? You aren't needed for over an hour, you know. Yes, I know. I'm not here to help with the renovations. I'm here to return the hourglass that was found yesterday to its owner. Oh, and who is that? Is it that man right next to you? Yep, it's me. I dropped it on my way out of the museum. I came here for my family to see if anyone knew about where it came from. Oh, well, the good news is that we have a place in the third room from the right, but I'm afraid we didn't find any information about it. Well, that's okay. At least you found it. I'm grateful for that. All right, then. We'll be on our way now to retrieve the hourglass. Thank you, Mary. You're welcome. Oh, and hello, Bianca. Hi. And I also noticed we have a large Pokémon here, too. Yep, this is our buddy Dragonite. He helped us get a lift to the museum here. Oh, well, hello to you, Dragonite. Dragonite smiles and waves to her as his hello. And then we all start to walk to the room where the hourglass was held. Y'all have a good day. The four of us walk down the large hall and take that third right into the room as directed. We see that the room is quite large, so we decide to split up and search for the hourglass. Even with 4 pairs of eyes looking, it takes a little while before Lorenzo finally finds it on a display in the back corner of the room. Hey everyone, the hourglass is over here on the stand. As we walk to him, Lorenzo takes the hourglass off of the display and stand and holds it straight. When I get to him, he carefully hands the hourglass over to me. I'm so glad you found it. I thought still that this might be lost until now. I'm glad that you've got it back for you. The room grew silent for a few after that. It appeared that no one knew what to say. In the meantime, I was thinking of how I could picture the memorials in the garden, Latios vanishing, and Latias lying down on the beach. It all made me think of a way to make things right. And by right, I mean with the Latias still alive and well. I suppose now is the time to get going. I agree. I feel like going home and doing some painting to block the sad feelings I have from what I just saw earlier. And I need to get ready to help with the repairs for the DMA. Well, that isn't what I meant. The three of them look at me with puzzled looks. Now that I have the hourglass back, I need to use it to make things right. What? Oh, you are? For real? Oh, I see. Well, I knew you had to go sooner or later. But what am I going to tell Mary to explain why there are only 3 of us walking out of the museum? Just tell her I used the hourglass to teleport home. Sounds like a good explanation to me. Okay, Mike, I'll do that. Could I at least have one more hug before you go? Yeah, of course. The two of us gave one big hug to each other. I noticed that I was doing a lot of hugging today overall. Whoa, wait just a minute here. Mike, what's going on? It appeared that poor Dragonite was oblivious to what was going on until now. I stop hugging Bianca and face him. I see a very worried look on his face. I'm going to time travel, Dragonite. You're leaving? Now? Already? I'm afraid so, buddy. I have to go. I need to make everything in the way it should be. I hope you understand. I start to see tears forming in Dragonite's eyes, and he begins to cry. But I finally found that friend I've always wanted. That's you. I can't have you leave. I don't want to be alone again. I got up close to Dragonite, and he lowers his head in front of mine. You won't be alone again. You will have Lorenzo and Bianca and the Pokemon in the garden by your side. But I want to be with you. I feel like I have this special bond with you, Mike. I really like you a lot. I feel like you're my best friend. And I always will be, buddy. I promise that we will be together again. I have this feeling in me about that. Please, trust me with this. Oh, I really hope you're right, Mike. I really want to see you again. You will, buddy. I put my arms around him and hug him, and he hugs me back. We continue hugging for a while before letting go. I'll miss you. I'll miss you too, buddy. I give him a gentle pat on the head. I then step back in a few and hold the hourglass with both hands. Okay, I just need to ask you three to remain quiet while I use this. It's a fragile working object. Alright, sure thing, son. Dragonite remains silent, but he nods his head to respond. I take a look down at the hourglass and take a deep breath. I then take one more look at Dragonite, who was still shedding tears. I felt so bad for him. He was in such fright because he didn't want to lose his best friend. And I was feeling the same thing as him in a way. I felt so excited to find one of my best friends from my old life. But now I feel upset, because now I had to let him go again. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep my promise to him, but I'm hoping and praying with all of my might that when all this time traveling business is over, we will be happily together again. I then close my eyes and concentrate real hard. I focus on nothing other than where I need to go, and I keep picturing the destination over and over again in my mind until it sticks. I then flip the hourglass over, and I feel myself travel through time. And that will be the end of this video. It's kind of a sad way to end it, but it also leaves a nice cliffhanger. I'm going to notice that there's no extra text this time. Yippee! So there's none of you sneaking a little bit of a peek of the next part. Yeah, I did that on purpose. If any of you actually stopped it on that spot and read it, good for you. But I will let you know that the next part is called The Unexpected. It is actually relatively shorter than every other part, because I know part 6 had like 60-something pages, and part 7 had a good 50-something. But this one only has like 30-something, so I think I may put it in one video next time, maybe 2. I'll probably do it in one video now that I think about it, because there's no real good place to split it. So, thank you for reading, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of Dragonite Week, if you're reading this at the time of Dragonite Week, and stay tuned for the next part coming out, part 8, which is The Unexpected. See you next time.